Good evening and welcome to the We Are Rise show. I'm your host, Brett C. Collins. How's everybody doing on this great Friday evening? Welcome in, Marshall. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You know, the liberals in New York City, I think they're losing their shit today because they're realizing that they voted for Donald Trump to be mayor.
Oh, I
I call him the new mayor. His name is now Mom Donald.
yeah, Mom Donald. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's just that we'll cover that. I mean, that's just that whole thing of him coming to the White House and just it's almost like it's too surreal. It's almost like it's too real. You know what I'm saying? What's the terminology he uses? We
Central casting.
central casting. I mean, he's got to be a plant. I mean, there's just no way. The way this was, I mean, it was just too easy, too simple. I don't know. And maybe this guy was put there to destroy the Democrat Party and bring forth a whole new change under the guise that he's a socialist, under the guise that he's a communist, while he's going to be doing completely the opposite. It's rather striking, and I think we'll explore that a little bit tonight's show. Calling the ball. Yes, this is in reference to what has taken place the last couple of days with the seditious behavior, so to speak. The uh, let's put it this way: the Invocation or Insurrection Act, which he's calling them insurrectionist. I think it's coming. Maybe it's coming sooner than we think. I don't know. I don't know. Do we want that? I mean, it's pretty scary how this is going to unfold. Resistance is futile. This is part of it. Sign the deal. There might be a deal in place right now that I think Zelensky has no choice. He has to sign or we're going to walk away. And I don't think Europe is going to want to bail him out any much longer. We'll see about that. I think that's coming to an end. Bill and Hillary get a final notice and so much more. Let's welcome in Pill.net. Hello, Rumble, and everybody on YouTube. If you're on YouTube there, we're there now. You could subscribe, like, share, leave a comment over there. Let us know how it is. Welcome in Pill.net. Let's say hello to Trump One. How you doing? Thank you so much for the cookie. Who else is here? Wood USA dropping 117 gold pills. Thank you so much. Thea, thank you for the phone. Happy Friday, We Are Rise family. Yes. Patty B, no, I didn't get your DM. Okay, so if you want to send it back to me, the DM on X, I didn't get it. I don't know why. I looked at it. I thought you sent me something, but there was nothing there. So I'm sorry. Would USA, what's going on? S. Mattis, how you doing? Yeah. Schaefer, what's going on? Fuck that shit. It's funny as ass fuck. Are you referring to about Mandami? I mean, it is. Brando Bean, what's up? Thank you for the shades. Trusty Turnup, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome in and welcome back, everybody. Yeah, Mom Donald. Yes, it is funny. That is funny. Hello on Rumble when everybody shows up. I don't know if anybody's there right now. So if you want to help out the show, like, share, and subscribe, drop us a cold pill. Hit the bell to get notified when we go live. If you want to help out Marshall, Ko-Fi.com/SurfDog74. You were saying, Marshall?
No, I just thought, I wasn't expecting this today.
Yeah.
I mean, I was expecting
I
like
was completely caught
silence.
off guard about this. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
completely caught off guard.
yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah, and I'm hey, okay.
yeah.
But the liberals are pissed. I mean, they're starting to heat up on X right now. They're
Well,
already
that's the thing. I mean,
blowing up.
what are we to look at this? I mean, what type of facilitation is this? What type of orchestration is this? I mean, is this just, they're just playing patty cake right now? Is this for the time being? Is just that Mondami is just cozying up to the president, so the president will send him money when he needs it for whatever he's going to need it for. I mean, obviously New York's going to need money. Everybody's dipping out. Is he just
Well,
trying to cozy favor in such a way that the possibility of them working through things, especially keeping things safe, is the most important thing.
look, look,
But go ahead. I was going to
look.
say,
Look who. I'm sorry. Look who Trump just had in the White House
yeah.
with a beautiful dinner,
Hmm.
black tie dinner. I mean, that White House had a video showing how beautiful it was and the food
Yeah.
they served and all that. And I'm like, he just had the Saudi prince there. This guy's a Muslim or whatever, probably of Arabic descent. He looks like.
He's
So there's
Ugandan.
some. I mean, what's that? Yeah, Uganda.
He's
Yeah.
Ugandan. He's Ugandan. Well, look. it's either one of two things. Either he's got him by the balls and says to him, because they had a private powwow and whatever that meeting was. And this is saying, hey, look, we know who you are. All right. We know that you're probably illegal in this country. We can remove you. And you're going to do everything we say. And if you don't do it, we will remove you. I think that could be part of it. It could also be that he is a plant. This whole thing is staged for our enjoyment, our theater. And for many different other people, because if he turns out to be what we're all thinking, well, then there you go. That's what New York's going to happen. So the question is, what do you think? Do you think that this whole thing is an expose on just moving the Democrats out of position so they don't recapture New York and run it into the ground? And so they bifurcated it by putting a plant in here, claiming he's a socialist to outmaneuver the Democrats in some way. It seems logical. It seems like it's the central casting mantra. I mean, he mentioned 17 again. So we'll read this. I mean, President Trump and Mayor Zohan Mandami, two men who spent the past year hurling the sharpest insults imaginable. See, that's the whole point. And each stood by side in the Oval Office Friday and declared a face-to-face meeting of surprising success. I mean, Trump seated at the Resolute desk congratulated the Democrat socialist on his November victory. I mean, to say that he congratulated a socialist victory. I mean, do you see the irony here? I mean, it's just so thick you could cut it. Trump is sitting here at the desk making Mandami stand. And there's a lot of people on X, like Laura Loomer, of course, they're pulling out their hair saying, how can you sit there and have him in the Oval Office and talk to a jihadist and a communist and all this stuff? It's like, he can't, what? So he's not supposed to talk to anybody? He's not supposed to have conversations with anybody? Everybody that he talks to is problematic for Laura Loomer. It seems like that. Let's play this a little bit.
We've just had a great meeting, a really good, very productive meeting. We have one thing in common. We want this city of ours that we love to do very well. And I wanted to congratulate the mayor. He really ran an incredible race against, a lot of smart people, starting with the early primaries against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat them easily. And I congratulated him. And we talked about some things in very strong common, like housing and getting housing built, and food and prices, and the price of oil is coming way down. That anything I do is going to be good for New York. If I can get prices down, it's good for New York. And we've got them down, way down from last year. We have, as you know, I've been saying to a lot of people, Walmart said that Thanksgiving this year is exactly 25% less than last year. So that's good for New York, good for everybody. But I just want to congratulate. I think you're going to have hopefully a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am. I will say there's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything. And we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Wow. I mean, for the life of me, it could go either way. We could say that, again, I'll intimate the idea that he was a plant, that this guy was put there, again, to move aside all the Democrats and all the people that would probably destroy New York, even take it down even further, and then utilizing a guy that they think is going to work to their benefit in some way, being a Democrat socialist, that he's going to be able to get things done. Because people will be looking at him saying, what is he going to do? All the eyes are going to be on him, and how much money President Trump is going to allow to flow through from the federal government to help aid and assist New York. I'm not really sure. I just think in some way this feels totally phony. Like, it feels like I'm watching this and like, I don't know who's duped. Am I being duped? Are you being duped? Are we all being duped? I know that Trump once said, I heard Mandami ask for the meeting. Did he ask for the meeting? Was this already prearranged and set up? I mean, it's just something to think about. Margok says it could be something that no one is expecting. Yeah, I agree. What's up, MJ 615? Marshall, your thoughts? I mean, it's just.
He did request the meeting.
Yeah.
Now, was that planned as well? Was that part of the whole thing?
Yeah. Is this a whole shtick? I agree.
Either I'm leaning towards this guy, maybe actually, like we talked before off air, that he's set up. Look, the Democrats do this shit all the time to us.
Yeah.
They put in fake rhinos that run as a Republican. And this feels like this is what
George Bush.
Yeah.
Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
John
this,
McCain. I mean, it goes on.
Yeah, and this guy, he comes from a very wealthy family.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very well, and they're very smart. The guy's no dummy. So there's something going on. It's either he is there and he was kind of placed, and he's really on our one of ours, or he's just trying to work with Trump, which may end up well too, because he does need the federal government.
Yeah, well, he does it. It's a Trump explicitly walked back his campaign season threat to withhold federal funds. Now, this could be the reason why Mondami is coming there and wanting to, let's just say, curry favor with the president. I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. Okay, so what changed? Was this all bravado? Yeah, probably. It was all like banter. When a reporter asked if he would like to feel comfortable living in New York under Mondami administration, Trump answered without hesitation, yes, I would. See, that just tells me right now that, I mean, I'm telling you, this whole thing feels completely off. I feel like we're all being duped here, or New York City got duped. The people that voted for him, they're the ones who are going to get duped. Because if they're expecting free handouts and all these goodies and they're not going to get it, look out. Yes, I would. I really would, especially after the meeting. Absolutely. Mondami, standing at the president's side, said the two share a shared love of the city and a desire to make life more affordable for its 8.5 million residents. On immigration enforcement, Mondami raised concerns about the federal ICE operations inside the city. Trump pushed back gently, insisting the main topic was crime, not immigration. Interesting. He doesn't want to see crime. I don't want to see crime, the president said. I have a very little doubt we're going to get along on that issue. Moments of levity broke through the tension when a reporter asked Mondami on past statements calling Trump a fascist. Now, this is funny. Let's watch this.
To Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist. And your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about.
That's okay. You can just say yes. Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
And Mr. President, I wanted to ask you.
He just like pushed him. He's like smacks him on the arm and pushes him and stuff. Listen, I don't know what to make of it. I really don't know what to make of it. It just feels there's something off about this. Like he's been totally captured, surrendered in some way, or this whole thing was a staged plant to put in there to condition people. They're going to get free goodies and socialism and communism. And that was the only way you're going to get something to effectuate New York in a better way. The only way to do it is to put someone in there that they know willing to vote. They weren't going to vote for the Republican. They didn't like Cuomo, and he was a horrible choice. The Republicans didn't run anybody. And they figured that this guy's going to come out and say, all right, we're just going to hand out free stuff. And people like, yeah, I'll take it. So the two also found agreement on ending forever wars, Middle East peace. A lot of this interesting stuff. I got other commentary I'm going to show, but what's your overall take in this? Prosobic came out swinging. I thought it was an interesting thing. I caught this one. Jack Prosobic was there. I was asking him a question, and it was fire. I have to give Prosobic props on this one. He went after him. So holy crap. Jack Prosobic grilled Mondami to his face for pushing higher property taxes against white people. To be clear, you're continuing this idea of race-based property taxes. Mondami says, no, it's what you said. No, yes, it is. The use of the term is a description of neighborhoods, not a description of intent. Let's listen to this.
Is manageable to actually get through and not the cause of yet another weight that we see in our city.
Clear, you're continuing this idea of race-based property taxes.
No, to be very clear, no, the use of the term was a description of neighborhoods, not a description of intent.
So you intend to tax the whiter neighborhoods more?
No, we intend to create a fair property tax system because we want a New York City that is not only fair and equitable, but also one that every New Yorker can afford.
Wow. What's your thoughts about that? That was a little fire, man. Obviously he put him on blast and said, you said that. You want to make it so white people pay more than, let's just say, minorities in New York City.
Well, the more wealthy neighborhoods are, I don't know if they're necessarily white.
Right.
They might look like they're white, and they might be somebody else.
Exactly.
We know who that might be.
Oh, no,
So,
I know. But I thought it was an interesting line of questioning.
Yeah,
because he used his own rhetoric against him.
That's true. And Prosobic was on Steve after that tonight. and he was flexing like he was a badass. Okay, whatever. But we'll just see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
The guy's not inaugurated. I mean, he's not sworn
Well, he's
in
not
yet.
mayor yet, and he's mayor-elect. Let's see what happens before January 1st if this continues. I don't know. I mean, I just think that I think we're being played here. I really do. At least from my standpoint, it feels like, I think a lot of people's worries or fears about New York City, maybe are we holding our breath right now? Are people are we trying to quell the passion and rage that New York is going to turn into this it's going to turn into France. I mean, Paris. I mean, it's going to be really bad. I mean, I don't think it's going to descend into a chaos as President Trump. I think that what we saw there and what we're understanding what was going on through the campaign and the conversations in some way is that maybe this was the reason of getting somebody in there to separate and bifurcate out the Democrats from recapturing New York and then just bringing it to its knees again. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen with this guy. But everything seems weird and bizarre. I saw you, Thea. Thank you for the shades. It's bizarre. Yeah, it's totally bizarre. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, but President Trump talks to everybody. All right. Brought in the Syrian president. He was in ISIS, right? I mean, he was a terrorist, and now he's the president of the country. And Syria is part of the Reformation campaign with other countries in the Middle East to help rebuild Gaza and keep the peace. It is. Junior 29, something is off. I don't trust it. Okay. You don't trust it. What don't you trust? I mean, I want to hear what you don't trust because I want to a lot of this stuff tonight. Tonight's the call-in show. I dropped the stream up there. So if you want to call in, the stream's up top. I could drop it again. Thanks again, Thea. A boneless chicken gift to the can. Brando Bean, thank you for the shades. Look, I just want to hear your thoughts because it's irrelevant what I feel and think. Because whatever I feel and think or what we're able to discuss here, we can't prove it one way or another. Okay? We can't. We can only guesstimate in some way and feel that, wait a minute, what's so President Trump cozying up to a progressive, a socialist, a Democrat that he says that there are certain things that they have in common? Wow. I mean, he even admitted to it that a lot of people that voted for Mondami voted for President Trump. And President Trump reiterated that a lot of people that voted for Bernie Sanders voted for President Trump.
It reminds me of the ice rink that Trump rebuilt. That's what it kind of reminds me of, of how he did that and bam, and got it done. Anyway, it's just an analogy I thought.
No, I mean, I understand. I just think that in some way we're being played here, and I just keep your eyes on it.
In a good way, though, right?
In a good way. I don't think it's going to be bad. I don't think it is going to be as bad as we think it is. Okay. Right. If we're just for the moment thinking that New York is going to have a chance because there's a watchful eye over the city and the money that's going to be controlled and the people that are overseeing this in some way. I mean, unless this guy is being utilized for something to do and expose people, I don't know. I don't know if he's part of an operation. I don't know if he's just there as a straw man, someone there to look good, take orders as a puppet. I'm not really sure how this is going to play out. We're just going to have to wait and see. All right, the FBI concludes the Trump shooter Thomas Crooks acted alone after the unprecedented global investigation. So they came back and said that they concluded the Butler, Pennsylvania would-be assassin Crooks acted alone. After we just covered last week, with Tucker Carlson brought out, and after a massive team dodgily pursued interviews. Remember the 480 FBI agents that combed through the digital footprint and all the caveats and all the oddities that happened to parlay into this guy's not untimely death, but timely death, and everything with the home being sterilized, the drone, everything. This guy did it on his own, apparently. So the unprecedented global investigation, the Bureau told Fox News Digital. Kash Patel said, senior official with the direct involvement in Butler, Pennsylvania, investigated, sat down, and said, the bottom line, look, here it is. I've been on this since we got here for 8 months, and we had to maintain a chain of command to President Trump. But we had to remind the world President Trump was the victim, one of 4 victims that day. We briefed a victim of the case, the White House providing him with all the details of this investigation. I'm not going to continue on. I just think This is another scenario that we could talk about. No one believes. Another scenario where no one believes the story that this guy acted alone. Not the way Tucker Carlson has broke this down. The guy was cremated right away. We don't know if any other evidence was covered up, and this might play into the international. This might be into international, let's just say, water, so to speak, international levels of espionage and treason and all these other things. And I think so. And I think that they want to shut this down immediately, and whatever's happening behind the scenes to be dealt with will. And they don't want this to continue on. I think that's it, Marshall.
Yeah, I agree 100. We've talked about it many times.
Yeah.
And look, they just want to keep this narrative
Mm-hmm.
for certain reasons. Don't let it piss you off. Just understand that they're doing it for a reason. They're not doing it to deceive you. Trump is not. It's because it involves, like you just said, Brett. It's international. It involves very certain countries.
Yeah, because people would be demanding we go over there and bomb a country for trying to kill a president.
We can't do that, man.
You can't do that. And I think that you gotta curtail all this stuff. And I'm not liking this. I think that we did enough coverage of this, and the expose of understanding is that there's just no way 400. And look, we can also say that the FBI is complicit in this, in covering it up. And they might be told to cover it up, like we said. And these 480 agents that went through the digital footprint, they can't be incompetent. They just can't be. I just don't buy that they are. And it's maybe painting the picture that there's a lot of partisans in there, a lot of people with a bias that don't like President Trump, and the information is kept away. Maybe this is a lot bigger than we can possibly imagine. Yeah, bullshit. The crime scene was destroyed. Of course. Yes, the crime scene was destroyed. Yeah. I mean, exactly.
Was it a crime scene? I mean,
well, that's the whole point, because between the former Homeland Secretary and the Secret Service brass, all complicit in this. I just think that this is far more, let's just say, pervasive. It's so much bigger than we can possibly imagine, and it probably affects a lot of agencies in our own government. It affects state actors. It definitely the Belgian and what was the other one with the phone? They had Belgian and German connections with the phones. Why would he have that per se? I mean, the weird oddity about the whole thing about crooks is that this is another scenario of we're not going to be told the truth until somewhere down the line. Just like the JFK. I mean, did you learn anything from the JFK assassination? So why do you expect you're going to learn anything from this? Okay, you got to view. We watched it live. I covered this live, and a lot of people said, "Oh, this was all fake," and people were shot. Person died. I mean, in some way, I think that we're going to look back upon this in years and say, are they really going to put a stick? I mean, this is going to be reopened later on. This will be. Eventually, people will write books on it. We'll get to more of a discussion. But at this point, they're shutting the investigation down. And maybe one day we'll know why. Maybe we'll ever find out in some way. But, I mean, at this point, do they want to be held culpable for lying to the public? Or responsible? And maybe this is the only way they can seal up loose ends. President Trump just called for the ball. Get ready for the Insurrection Act. Folks, it's about to go down. Everything we waited for over 10 years about to pop off. And I'm not exaggerating. We're about to see Trump invoke the Insurrection Act. I think it's going to happen. I think as much as we don't want it to happen, because it's, a lot, the market's dipping. You see Bitcoin going down. It's at 82,000 now. So all these things, the trembling, these forces that are at play, I think there's a reflection point on that. Everybody's noticing something is off. The Democrats look scared. Everybody knows there's something up. There's a harbinger out there. It's waiting. There's a noose out there, a lot of nooses out there for these people. And I think you could see it in the media and the reaction about President Trump talking about these seditious, let's just say, rats. President Trump tried every other avenue available to him. And the deep state is so diseased and so entrenched that nothing but the nuclear option is viable at this point. And when faced with the choice, turning a blind eye, keeping the peace, or wrapping the Band-Aid off to save this country, President Trump will choose the latter. I think so. I think in some ways, it's beyond what we can understand in some way, that the embers or everything that's inside, that it's burning up. I mean, we can't play whack-a-mole. and just go here, go here, go here, go here, just like what ICE is doing. I mean, we have been pre-mobilized and pre-militarized all over around the country, as you can see. And these forces are ready to go. And I think that in some way, when President Trump inferred or suggested or hinted or insinuated about this is really bad and dangerous to our country. The words cannot be allowed to stand seditious behavior from traitors. When the Democrat veterans in Congress urged service members to refuse this is really bad. I discussed this yesterday in Thomas's show, seditious behavior from traitors. And I want to get Marshall's take on that. But when he says punishable by death, and he's basically pointing to these people that they're utilizing the terminology, the linguistics, and the syntax is to what? Is to really go right at our forces, right directly at them, to give them that type of, let's just say, that pause, so to speak, all right, in their head. Maybe I shouldn't follow these orders. Maybe if you're a commander or a general, maybe I shouldn't follow this, because they might come back around to haunt me later on if these people get in power. That's exactly, I think, what's taking place. And I think undermining the civilian control of the military by utilizing that, let's just say, language really breaks down the chain of command and affects, let's just say, the orders that are going to go out. Because when they do go out, you expect them to be followed. This is his legacy. He's heading into his 80s, doesn't have much time left, as he's in his second or third term. And he knows the timing is perfect. It's now or never. The weight of the world rests on his shoulders, or does the fate of the country? Deploying the nuclear option will not be easy. You think they fight him now? This will be an all-out war. Yes, it will. And they will try to impeach him again. And that's the other point. We're going into 2026. The chances of them regaining the House, the Republicans, in some way, I've seen polls all over the place. Some numbers are better than others. I'm not really sure. But do you want to take the chance on that in any way? I think at this time that you have to realize that if they don't win the House, they'll try to impeach him. And they'll try and steal it in the Senate to convict him, and they'll try to rally these people. Like I said, a lot of these people are not MAGA. They're not America First. They're all about the Republican Rhino Inc. That's what they're about, and they ride the coattails to look like they're doing something. They're going to dip out here for the holidays. They're not going to come back until what? December. They're not passing any legislation. We just got shut down, and then the government reopens up, and the one bill they push is what? They push on Democrat socialism. That 296 to 98 voted what? Voted against socialism in this country. What does that mean? What type of legislation, what type of bill is that to say, no, that we don't stand with that, Marshall? It's ridiculous in some way, don't you think?
Well, yes and no. It will be good for us for the 26 midterms, I think.
Well, yeah, 98 Democrats that voted.
Yeah, you're going to be able to name them by name.
Yep.
This other thing with these these 6 Democrats that pulled this shit, there's a lot of videos that people are making that are in the military that they jumped right on it.
Yep.
And they're doing their TikTok and all this shit. You know what? I hope that Hegseth gets these people out of the military. Now, there's others that are in the military that are the exact opposite. They're saying if you listen to these people,
yeah,
you're a traitor to your country.
Yeah,
you signed an oath and all that. So,
look. You knew that there were people
trial. These people should face some kind of
absolutely. If you're making TikTok videos
out of Congress, the 6 Democrats, they should be out of Congress. They should be out. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean,
it's just bullshit, man.
Well, of course it is. I mean, I understand, but it's outing the people that are in the military, like you were saying, that it's true, are squirrely to begin with, and they're seditious by putting out these TikTok videos and saying, "Yeah, I'm not following orders and all this stuff. You should be immediately court-martialed, arrested, court-martialed, tried, and you know what? Either kicked out, I don't know, put in jail. I don't know what they're going to do, but in some of these cases, which are severe." It says here, if a severe example is not set and yet might include execution for treason, this will never stop. It's true. Look, if you keep allowing these people to do this stuff and you don't do anything about it, you don't put your foot down, you don't lay down the law in some way, which is a federal law. All they have to do is invoke this in some way. He could declare a national emergency in other ways. And as he's done, we're under 5 right now. I think since 2010, there's like 7 of them. I believe that we're 5 right now in that he's declared national emergencies, but he can easily declare a national emergency in this. And also, this is let's just say, if you think about 13884, the executive order with that national emergency about foreign invasion, which is still outstanding right now, still under this right now with all the illegals in this country, everything that they're pushing back with ICE. Let me continue on. Hang them, George Washington would. Hang them, George Washington would. And he goes on and says, I want to be clear that this is not me. No one calling for it. I'm reporting that President Trump just reposted that. And you could see all these other people talking about it, going through that. I'm not going to play that. We talked about it yesterday. The Dems are panicking. This is clandestine said. Why are they encouraging active service members to disobey? This is the fear of the Insurrection Act. I think there are many people that are looking like this. And President Trump is setting up to call the ball. Basically, that it's a pilot's term. It's also basically, it's like letting people understand and let them know that I'm setting the order. I'm putting the order in place. And once this happens, we're moving forward with this. The Dems are concerned about future orders that Trump is going to give the U.S. military, but they refuse to specify exactly what those orders are. See, they want to know too. This is not a game just of cat and mouse in some way. They want to know what orders is going to be given. That's some way. They don't know exactly what powers and what orders they have. They don't have an inference. I remember back in 2020 in the summer, Nadler was inquiring through Congress of asking the White House and the administration and lawyers, what are the PEDs? And because they're secret, they're classified. And only a few handful of people know what they are, these special access powers that the president has under emergency authority. And Nadler was refused this. Congress was refused this. Many people don't know. I don't even believe Speaker Johnson is aware of that in some way, but they wanted to get to that. Now, the question is, why do they want to get there? Because they want to get ahead and block them at every move or peel it apart like an onion so they can break these down to rule them unconstitutional. But every president has these types of PEDs in some way. The question is, what are they per se, and how do they necessarily pertain to the national emergency? So the Dems know something is coming. They're terrified, okay? This is good. I'm going to drop this in there. I want you to go listen to this. It's like 50 minutes. This guy, Christopher Green, puts out a lot of good stuff. He's also talking about you're going to see a lot of the market implosion. You're going to see the numbers start coming down. After all, people hear about insurrections destroying our great cities for month and month. President Trump finally steps in and take action and clean things up. There's a lot of people who are suggesting there's the magic word again, insurrectionists. He talks about that again. I think in some way, this is what I was leading to. Trump's plan is genius. Technically does not lead to invoke the Insurrection Act, but send U.S. military to defend federal property. It's considered federal function, not local policing. So he could put military and equipment inside these ICE facilities, these federal properties, hidden away with no one's the wiser, so to speak, and they have no understanding about this, while simultaneously they carry out their orders throughout major cities in the United States. I think it's brilliant. And he wouldn't have to utilize it in some way. But once he declares it, and I think the last time they did it in, I think, 2005 during Katrina in New Orleans. I think there was. And also, I believe that in 1992 with George Herbert Walker Bush declaring the LA riots. So it's not like it hasn't happened in some way. The question is, how expansive does he want to go with this? If he wants to really go after these people and hold them accountable and bring them down, because it's not just elements of all over in all these different pocket cities, major cities, but there are so many other provisions, so many other people that are just walking around, skating by in the shadows that we don't know about, that could even do far more damage, Marshall.
Yeah, I mean, these 6 people that we were talking about just a second ago, that these congressmen, now they're saying that Trump is saying that he wants them, executed, which is a complete lie.
No, he didn't
I
say
mean, they're
that.
running scared. They're saying all this stuff. He never
Yeah.
mentions any one of them by name.
No.
Never.
No.
So,
No, he didn't say any of that. He inferred that sedition leads to, or treason leads to A, B, and C. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're putting out all these videos because they're panicking. And just like this article you just went through, and the one I think before it, is that that's probably this one. They're all panicking. They don't know what he's doing. They don't know what he's going to do.
Right.
And that's why they're freaking out. And then you see them, it's just more and more. And we're finding out all this Epstein crap. That's all them. Hakeem, he was over with Epstein on the island. You saw the picture. I don't know if I think you might have it, but it's all coming back onto them, and they're freaking.
Yeah, I dropped the article in there.
They didn't expect it to all come out.
Listen to the defense. Scott Jennings goes on the Patrick Bet David show, and he makes a good argument and good discussion. Scott Jennings defends Trump's execution rant. He has every right to be outraged. You got to listen to this. We'll play some of this.
Political touts Gavin Newsom as 2028 frontrunner, but data tells a different story because California is facing a $18 billion deficit. When he came in, he had a $24 billion surplus.
Okay, I'm going to find it where he goes up. All right, so senior political commentator Scott Jennings went off on the clown Democrat lawmakers who participated in a video who led to President Trump suggesting they would be arrested and put on trial for seditious behavior. Jennings joined Patrick Bet David on Friday. Jennings held nothing back when offering his analysis back and forth between Trump and Democrats. Kelly, Slotkin, Crow, DeLuza, Goodlander, Houlihan all took part in the video. The lawmakers of all whom served in the military or intelligence community accused of the administration pitting the military against American citizens and warned threats to the Constitution are coming from within the United States. So he goes on, he says here, he goes, look, I was on CNN yesterday. We had one of these clowns on, Jason Crow. Casey Hunt asked him, is there a specific order you're worried about? Well, no, we're just generally saying out loud the other thing. The other thing. Well, no, they're just generally saying it out loud that the other thing that they said that there is a vital, that the threats to the Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, they're coming from within. And they said the president is a threat to the Constitution. This is the same garbage they've been peddling, and that has led to violence against the president, that has led to violence against ICE agents, that has led to violence against people who are operating our government right now. This is the rhetoric that is designed to foment insurrection against the commander-in-chief and violence against the commander-in-chief. Jennings defended Trump's response and scoffed at the idea that the president called for the deaths of anyone. In Trump's post, he called for the lawmakers in the video to be arrested and put on trial, and later added seditious behavior is punishable by death. See, he inferred that. That's all he's saying. He suggested that. He insinuated that. He didn't actually say they should be hung and shot. He didn't mention that at all. But again, that's how people lump these things in. Maybe you shouldn't talk like that in some way and have a reaction from the president if you don't like the commentary. Telling the soldiers not to follow orders from his commander-in-chief. If I were Donald Trump, I would be outraged, Jennings said. He is outraged, and he has every right to be outraged. And the question is, are they baiting him in some way? This is another argument that I saw that people were discussing. Are the Democrats, are they running scared marshal? Are they baiting him to do something? And that is to invoke the Insurrection Act in some way. Do they want this? The expression, be careful what you choose or what you wish for, it might come true. And if this happens in some way, what are their designs? What are their plans behind the scenes as pushback? I mean, are they demanding this? Are they wanting this in some way? I mean, or are they just trying to figure out where he is by testing him in some way? And also, you have to think about, like I discussed yesterday, I was saying that, you know, when you're setting the stage or setting in motion for a military coup d'etat by engaging and activating not just the media assets, but the deep dark that roams the halls of Congress, masquerading as members. But in actuality, they are sleeper agents for, again, the CIA, the military industrial complex. They're impersonating people. They're not really there. Okay. They're not really congressmen and senators. Okay. They're agents of provocateurs that are there to decide. And that's why those people were put there to make this. Now, who put them up to it? That's the question that everybody should be asking. Let's listen to Chanel Rion. She had a good oversight of all this stuff. And I think in some way, when you hear what she says, you'll think about this even more, because her breakdown about all these people and stuff is really about what? What are they looking for? They're looking to figure out and maybe think about pressing President Trump in some way, like they can press President Trump. They're completely out of the loop. They have no idea what's happening, so they want to figure it out. By putting that out there, they want to see his reaction. so the Democrats don't give up the ship is a coded threat to our military and our intelligence communities. Let's listen to what she says.
How Democrats are encouraging insurrection in our military. Okay, well, maybe. They couch their language in legalese, meaning they're not on the face of it doing anything illegal. It's deeper than that. This is a threat to all of our current military service personnel to cast doubt on their every single actions under this administration. This video was a warning shot. Every face from that video advocated kicking out service members who refused to take the COVID jab. This time around, the threat is intentionally ambiguous. It's designed to paralyze our military and intelligence services. It's designed to plant a seed so that every service member will live with the guilt of carrying out the orders of their leadership under Trump. This was a message to our service members, an effort to recruit moles and traitors. I highlighted Maggie Goodlander because of all the people in that video. She is the closest we get to taking the temperature of the Obama-Clinton deep state. Maggie Goodlander just gave us a sampling of what lies ahead. The Democrats are going to make every effort to bring all of the Department of War and intelligence services under their umbrella once again. This time they're using ambiguous threats. They made it very clear, if you serve a Republican administration, you're breaking the law. Do what we tell you, and you're free and clear. And if the Democrats take control over the entire national intelligence and armed services, they will take control over the entire country. That's always been their plan.
Wow. I think that she really makes a good point about explaining this and how this message is getting out. And a lot of people are looking at it in a lot of ways. Some people are looking at it reactionary, saying, I can't believe he implied this in some way. But other people that are come to his defense are making the point. But I think everybody's getting ahead of themselves. This moves past President Trump. This moves past these 6 Democrat senators and congressmen that are obviously the traitors, seditious, without, I mean, we don't even have to explain that. I mean, it's obviously, but the idea in some way that they are targeting our military in any way is clear right now that we are at a defining moment where we're going to go this way or that way. And I believe in some way, all these people that are outing themselves to look like, hey, on TikTok and do a little dance and say, hey, I'm not going to partake in this stuff. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Pull them out now. And I said there might be at least, at what, 98%, there might be 2% inside the military that are partisan, that are biased, that don't like Trump. All right. And we're going to find out who they are. And so this could go both ways to expose the traitors inside the military as well. A lot of them are going to show their face. All right. And it's not going to be good. They're going to be on watch. I mean, Hegset's got it locked down. I mean, they're going to target people. I think the Justice Department should do something about what they said. I mean, obviously, this was a direct attack onto our military, onto our government, and at President Trump in some way. So the way I look at this is that start utilizing Article 92 with the U.S. With the UCMJ. Start, if these people are coming out and saying, I'm going to resist orders, I'm not going to follow orders in some way because they think those orders are unlawful. What orders were you given? All right. I mean, we don't have any orders that are given yet. And the idea that people are saying that, throwing that out there right now, leads me to believe that once we go into something, that's where the trepidation is. The idea we might have an incoming missile or something that will be under attack, and there is people with hesitancy, okay, that will just stop for a minute to let this happen in some way. That in itself is seditious behavior. That is treason. All right. And that's what, yes, it's a psychological war. We talk about that all the time. This is a misop in some way. But they know exactly where to go to because they think in some way President Trump will utilize the Insurrection Act and it'll be targeting what? Because you're going to say to the military, we don't want you to target our citizens. We don't want you to go out there and arrest American citizens. That's what they're going to say. They're going to ramp that now. They're going to ramp that up and say, you're going to be arresting American citizens in some way, and you can't do that. That's what their argument is going to be, and that's unlawful. That's what they're they're sowing the seed, so to speak, Marshall.
I don't think those 6 Democrat, or any of them for that matter, are actually smart enough to come up with some kind of a
No.
trap for Trump.
No.
I think they're actually excuse me, they're actually acting out of desperation.
Right.
I mean, these people, they don't know what's going on. They're scared shitless, and they showed it. That whole video of those Congress people doing that, it reeks of desperation and fear.
Yeah.
And so they're going down. And these people should definitely be the ones that are, oh God. Sorry about that. It was my phone. Anyway, they should definitely be held. They should be pulled out. They should be brought up on charges without a doubt. Now I'll mute my phone. Go ahead, man.
No, I agree, but I mean, will the Justice Department do anything? A lot of people, they lack the bravado, they lack the willpower to do a lot of things. A lot of people that are call out Bondi and Bongino and all these people in some way. Todd Blanche had some interesting choice words, which we're going to get to. FL John, how you doing? Good evening. Welcome in, everybody that we're covering a lot of the stuff that went on between yesterday and today, and we're going to be covering a little bit more. Let me go through it. So Trump does not back down from his comments about seditious Democrats. What happens to them? I can't tell you, but they broke the law. If you look at sedition, a very strong form of being a traitor, I thought it was some kind of comedy skit. What they said in old days, if you said a thing like that, that was punishable by death. I'm not threatening them, but I think they're in serious trouble. I would say that they're in serious trouble. There could be military tribunals that are going out that are looking at what they said, because some of them were in the military. Some of them are still active. In the old days, it was death. That's seditious behavior. These people broke the law. Yeah, I agree. This is Brian Kilmeade when he was talking. He was
a lot. And that's that tape that those veterans and Elise Slotkin put out, talking about urging, I guess, or reminding our troops that they don't have to obey orders. Listen to a little of it.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
So you get the spirit of it. Your reaction was pretty direct. This is really bad and dangerous to our country. The words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors, and you wanted to say punishable by death. So people thought that you were saying death to those politicians. What were you saying?
Well, if you look at sedition, if you look at that type of, that's a very strong form of being a traitor. It's a terrible thing to say. I must tell you, I heard it, and I thought it was some kind of a comedy situation. I thought that it was some kind of a skit, and because I couldn't believe that they'd say it. And I watched Democrat congressmen and one Democrat senator yesterday on one of the shows. Didn't even want to discuss it. They said, whoa, don't get me into that one. They don't want to get into it. That is a really serious charge. I'll tell you what they said is, and it was, I mean, I don't know about the modern day things, because, modern day is a lot softer. But in the old days, if you said a thing like that, that was punishable by death.
Yeah, but you're not threatening them. A lot of people are interpreting there's a threat and there's security.
Well, I'm not threatening them, but I think they're in serious trouble. I would say they're in serious trouble. I'm not threatening death, but I think they're in serious trouble. In the old days, it was death.
Do you worry, Mr.
That was
President?
Seditious behavior.
Do you worry?
That was a big deal.
Do you worry?
Today, nothing's a big deal. Today's a different world. Okay, it's a softer, it's a meeker, milder world. But I will say this: I think what they did is really bad. The hatred is pretty strong. But what they say, essentially, don't follow the orders of the president of the United States.
So
to the military.
Do you worry that some of your guys are going to say no?
Young privates and young corporals and young sergeants, and they're not scholars necessarily. There might be a few, frankly, but they're not scholars. They don't, study the Constitution, et cetera, et cetera. They know that. So these are people. These are bad people. These are people that, in my opinion, broke the law. Now, what happens to them, I can't tell you, but they broke the law. That is a terrible statement. I can say if I ever said
he can't tell you, or he won't tell you. He can't tell you because something's going to happen to them, whether it's going to be military, the UCMJ, the JAG officers to go after them, I mean, look, I mean, they're members of the House and the Senate. I mean, could the Justice Department go after them? I mean, their limit of some type of, let's just say, immunity went out the door. So, yeah, I know. I saw your trusty term. They're walking it back. But this is the point. Who is looking at them right now to investigate what they said? All right. Who funded this in some way? That's the other part.
And there were a Democrat as president, all hell would have broken loose.
Wow. What do you think, Marshall? That's, I mean, the fact that he's saying that right now to suggest that there are people looking at that. There are people trying to control this in some way, but the narrative is out there. It's too late. You cannot walk this back any much longer. And the question is, will the investigations continue on? I'm trying to read all those people's comments today. Super D donated 187 gold pills. Yes, we are at that defining moment on this. Also, what is happening with JP Morgan, a large bank that has dealt with Epstein and many other cores, a big time what's this? Mutable, high-ranked politicians, along with other countries' leaders. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Thea, for the phone. Trump, Trusty Turner for the cookie. Trump won for the cookie. Thea for the can. Thank you so much for supporting the platform. Like, share, and subscribe. You can drop us a gold pill, as these ladies and gentlemen have, or you can help out MarshallKofi.com/surfdog74. Marshall, your take on that? I know you were coughing, backing up along.
I
know.
I got asthma issues. Anyway, these guys already lit the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So they can walk it back. This is what the media does all the time, Brett. They say a lie, and then about a week later or whatever, they rewrite it in some little tiny bottom of the line in the back of the newspaper so that they can retract it. And then they're all good. But they already started it.
Right.
They already lit the grass fire, the hay fire. So, they've already started. That was their objective, was to at least start the shit, and then they could go back and say, "Oh, we didn't."
Well, I mean, what about the audience in general, the normies, NPCs? People saw this. People heard this. Yeah. I mean, people picked this up. A lot of people have a lot of anger about what they did. I mean, it's clear that it was seditious behavior. Most people could see it, unless you're not a Democrat. And it doesn't matter, because in your eyes, no matter what President Trump does is unlawful. And so what they're doing right now is just increasing and stoking the flames. Okay. But this goes past the American people. This goes directly to the military. And I think that the psychological operation that everybody's mentioning and discussing in that may, people can get in their heads and to see in some way how these people, these TikTok dancers and all these people are going to come out to stand up and say, you know what? Yeah, I agree with Mark Warner, or I agree with Slotnick. I don't want to follow these orders and stuff. Good. Let's pluck them out right now, because there are probably a good swath of people, like I said, I don't know the percentage or not, that are inside a military that probably don't want to follow these orders, that don't like President Trump. And, it's good that they expose themselves now and you can remove them. So Mark Kelly says he's outrageously using the name of Charlie Kirk to defend his calls for sedition against President Trump. Wow, that's low, Mark. It's a disgrace you're allowed to roam the halls of Congress. Absolutely.
Laws. And by the way, I don't think there's anything more American or patriotic than standing with the Constitution. We're a country of laws. If anybody in the chain of command, anybody asks you to do something that's illegal, not only should you not do it, you're actually required not to do it. You have to follow legal orders. You are not to follow illegal orders. It was pretty basic. And
it sounds like he's doubling down. I don't know. Is he walking it back? It doesn't sound like he's walking it back right now. He's doubling down on this stupidity. But the
president's first instinct is to politicize this, to threaten political violence on members of the United States Congress, on the heels. I mean, it's just 2 months ago that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and he talked about political violence, and now his instinct is to call for execution.
Yeah, and
which he did not say.
He never did.
Which he did not say. He did not say. Of course, they're twisting the words, Marshall. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this guy, good God, man.
Yeah.
And this is what they do. This is what these Democrats, this is what pisses me off about the Republicans. The Republicans don't have the balls to do this.
No.
They don't have the balls to double down and say, fuck, whatever you know what I mean? They don't have the balls. So I give them credit for being, having the chutzpah to do it. So.
No, I agree. Look, and I think that in some way, I didn't hear anybody really from the House and the Senate, Speaker Johnson. I haven't heard him or anybody discuss what these representatives from the Democrat Party did and say. I didn't hear anybody out there citing them back after making those comments. You notice how everybody's kind of quiet about that. No one's really talking about it. The media is obviously twisting the language of this, of President Trump's, let's just say, retort about all this stuff. But in some way, there's really no blowback. Okay, you got a lot of people on X, got articles written up all over the place. President Trump is basically doubling down on his threat. And I think that this was to not just to provoke a reaction in some way, it's to feel these things out. Yes, to go right at our military, to use, to break up the command chain of the civilian operation of military control. Yes, to mess with that, to create this psychological delusion in some way that President Trump is unlawful, that what Mark is saying left and right. The fact that this guy keeps saying this over and over again, all right, he's just putting his foot in the mouth. Listen to this, Deputy AG Blanche. So if you want Pam Bondi out, let me just say this. If you don't know who Todd Blanche is, this is the guy who defended President Trump with all these cases. Is very tight with him. He's the deputy AG, by the way. So when you want Bondi gone and Bondi's gone, you want this guy to take over and succeed her. Because I know there's a lot of people who don't like Pam Bondi in this chat. So, but Todd Blanche, listen to this, calls for a federal investigation into 6 Democrat politicians who demanded U.S. military and intel members defy Trump orders. Listen to this.
Investigation would absolutely be under what their intent was in saying this. And the question, we've all watched this a lot today, and the question you have to ask yourself is, what is their intent? What is the reason that they all went on a video and encouraged young men and women to defy court orders without even giving a hint of what's illegal, without even giving any suggestion of what law or what order they're being asked to violate? You cannot do that in this country, especially if you're a leader. And so what does the investigation look like? I think they should be held to account. I think that those congressmen should be required to answer questions and to answer questions about why they did what they did. And the American people deserve that. And so does President Trump.
Yeah, look, I agree with that. I see a lot of people there. What's up with his ears? Who said that? Oh, Alphabet Omega pill. Yeah. What's up with his ears? That egg-shaped head? That kind of looks odd. I agree. I don't understand what it is. His ears look really Spockish. Yeah, Spock's cousin. So, Senior Polo, what's up? Yeah, the Dems are still crying over the reporter Piggy. Yep, exactly. They're still freaking out when it was Peggy. All right. He didn't say Piggy, but we'll get to that because comedians are ripping on Trump and saying, is he losing his mind? Is he going into
I hope he did say Piggy.
I hope so too, but when I went back and listened to it, it was Peggy. It was. And I understand that some people are
saying it was a different bitch. I mean, some other, whatever.
All right. Come on.
I love Kofefe.
Kofefe. I know. Who's it? MTG resigns from Congress? No, she didn't resign from Congress. Are you saying that you want her to resign, FL John? I mean, what are you trying to say? Yeah. All right, let's play the rest of this.
And so does President Trump.
The senators and Congress people saying it's for domestic deployment when they do an uprising. So, Todd Blanche, let me answer your question for you. It's called the Podesta Plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Democrat plan to cause civil unrest, base it as racial, say Trump's Hitler. It's been out for years. And then do all this. But definitely this means Todd Blanche is having major heat put on him. And Todd, we want to believe in you. Want to believe in Kash Patel. We want to save the country. So maybe you're riding the fence here. You're not sure. A Democrat lawyer. Trump likes you because you helped win the case, with the documents in Mar-a-Lago, which was open and shut. Okay, great.
See, the question is, because everybody's asking, where is the Justice Department about doing this, investigating this? Why aren't they doing something like that? Again, are their hands being tied purposefully? Yes, I think so. That's why he's going out there and saying, well, I didn't hear anything about Bondi saying anything. Why? She's got a lot of stuff on her plate, but she's not even mentioning this. I mean, what is this? I mean, President Trump is basically already said we're releasing the Epstein files. So on December 19th, you're going to get the whole thing. And if you want me to go further with this, I will, which is more than what we're talking about. Epstein is more than just trafficking women, okay? It's a network operation that entails state actors and banking cartels and a lot more. It's so expansive, it's so big that it's going to blow the cover off a lot of stuff. And you're going to see it, and it's going to affect a lot of members of the House and Senate. And that's why they're doing this. That's why they're putting out there, because President Trump signed that. That's a threat. That's why the Democrats are reacting like this, Marshall.
Yeah, and it's not only just banks. This even includes, we know this, Disney.
Yeah.
Disney is huge. Disney owns so many media companies, movie companies. I mean, that's a massive deal. They're bringing those little kids, or they were, on these cruises over by his island and taking excursions over there. What the hell's that all about?
Alita says MTG will resign come January. Okay.
I hope so.
I mean, you saw Elon Musk at the state dinner with President Trump and Melania.
Yeah, that was
with
awesome.
with MBS and the Saudi delegate. Okay, you saw President Trump talking to him, pointing to him, patting him on the shoulder as he walked in. Was like that whole thing kayfabe in some way? Was that whole thing orchestration?
We talked about that, Brett, when it all happened.
I know.
And it felt that way, just like this whole Mamdani thing.
Right. And so did the MTG thing too feels that way. I'm not really sure about that as well. I mean, you don't know on the face value, who are these actors? What roles are they filling? What roles they're playing and stuff like that. I just, the way he went after her.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
The way he went after her seems to me that it was just so far off the chart. I mean, she could be really devious and shady and opportunistic and hypocritical. I mean, she appears to be that way. All right. And it could be serious in some way. Or, again, it's being utilized as a ploy. I'm not really sure. But, again, you don't really know where this is. Yes, I agree with that about Mamdani. I totally feel like we're being played about that. So anybody catch anything? I know no one cared about Vice President Dick Cheney's, let's just put it this way, his funeral. But there were a couple of things that caught my attention. I didn't get to cover it. So
an extraordinary look at American history with all former living vice presidents gathered in a pew in the Washington National Cathedral to pay their respects to one of their own, former Vice President Dick Cheney. Dan Quayle on hand, Al Gore, Mike Pence, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden as well, of course, rose from the vice presidency to the presidency. But only President George W. Bush will be eulogizing his vice president. Not on hand, President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. President Trump has not spoken at all publicly about Vice President Cheney. Of course, the two did not get along. Famously, Cheney broke with his party and called Donald Trump the greatest threat to the republic. Vice President Vance did offer his condolences and acknowledgments to Vice President Cheney's family, saying there were disagreements, but he respected his service. But those images inside the Washington National Cathedral, so striking, they only happen at funerals. Clearly a sign of a bygone era here in Washington.
Yeah. So what you saw there was the old guard, the deep state in some way. I got more to play on that. Did you notice? I don't think anybody really covered it. I mean, I didn't see anybody talk about it because I don't think anybody cares in some way. But I mean, he was responsible for millions of deaths. Mike Pence was there speaking. How interesting he was speaking about, he'll go down as one of the greatest, most impactful vice presidents ever. Yeah, because you're a wuss. And what you did during 2020, who sold us down the river, maybe on purpose, maybe not. We'll find out one day. But no American flag over Dick Cheney's casket at his funeral. Interesting. Yeah, John McCain, it was wrinkled. That's treason. There's that one. There's his daughter. Green Lives Matter puts this out. Notice how he smiled when he said deluded gunmen. This was George Walker Bush talking about this. And now you see this, even the professional photograph of Bush's casket seems extremely wrinkled. And then we're going to go through that. I'm going to show you this. And then Here's Dick Cheney. So no one is talking about there not being a flag on the casket of Cheney. That's kind of odd, don't you think? Why wouldn't there be some type of flag on there, wrinkled or not? They didn't even put one on there. The funeral of former Vice President Dick Cheney commences. Casket of Dick Cheney arrives at his funeral. No American flag. I'll leave it at that. I wanted people to see that in some way. Dick Cheney seems to have a casket without U.S. Republic flag draped over it, also wrinkled, nondescript color guard. VPs usually get the works. Deep state has no power. Maybe Cheney's funeral is to reveal the public certain black hat figures. Could be in some way. I think there's a lot of people. Dick Cheney's covered was cut with an American flag before entering the church. All right. I mean, look, I understand flag draping on the casket, U.S. flag code, and other military funeral protocol documents explain that when a deceased eligible person is honored, the flag may cover the casket, for example, when the flag is used to drape a casket over. The Union blue field is at the head and over the deceased left shoulder. The protocol is especially clear for veterans and military funerals, but the practice is extended in state funerals for presidents and similarly honored people. Under Public Law 93-344 and other regulations, the draping of national flag over a casket is authorized for state, official, and special military funerals. So, I mean, look, it's odd. I'm not going to read the rest of this stuff. What's your thoughts about that? I mean, exactly. I mean, what is this? What are we seeing? What are we understanding? He doesn't even get an American flag. So, Marshall, what's your thoughts about Cheney was a dickhead? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he liked shooting people in the face with a shotgun on a hunting trip.
We don't know what other people he was shooting.
That's the standout for me.
Yeah.
But this whole thing, what I can't believe, what really struck me as odd, the guy died almost a month ago.
Yeah.
And you waited this long? What? Usually it's within a week.
Yeah.
You have the burial, the memorial, and all that. About a week, 10 days.
Yeah, he died like weeks
November
ago.
3rd or something. It was something like that.
Yeah, he
like
died
in the beginning of the month.
Yeah, I think it was around Halloween. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Aloha Mom says traitor. Yeah, I get you. Thank you, Thea, for the
Strange.
shades. Yeah. No, it is. I mean, Obama's sweating in a bunker somewhere. Cheney, Cheney, not a veteran, just a dickhead. Yeah, look, it's just a warmonger. I mean, let's face it. I mean, how many people
You
did
don't want
he
to
kill?
hang out with that guy by yourself.
I mean, obviously, he doesn't even get an American flag on his casket. What does that say?
Flag was that though? What was that?
It looks like a Vatican cover.
Okay, like
more of a religious covering for his coffin that was draped over. It was something of a Vatican or whatever. I don't know, whatever religion that he was. I don't know what Episcopalian. I don't know what he was. Was he Catholic? I don't know. Anyway, but that's what it was. They just put that over. He didn't even get an American flag. How interesting about that. So the U.S. peace plan, we're going to get into this now, almost nothing of Russia and leaving some American officials questioning why Kiev would accept it. Think about it. President Trump is saying in some way, hey, look, you got to do this. All right, you got to sign this. You got to get this done. If you don't get this done, you're on your own. And it's your dignity, whatever you have left, because the corruption is bubbling to the surface. All right, all the hundreds of millions of dollars that we gave to them, where'd it go? It's been stolen, all right, embezzled by many people. They're showing pictures of golden toilets. That's our money. Golden toilets that these people used to shit on. That's basically what they think of us. And I think right now, what you're understanding about this peace plan, we're going to cover it because I got a couple of articles. The U.S. peace plan to end the war in Ukraine contains almost no concessions from Russia, aside from its abandoning its vow to take over in the entire country. American officials say that's why they can't see why Kiev would accept proposal. Because, look, they're getting pushback. The plan devised by President Trump's envoy, Witkoff, after consultations with both Ukrainian and Russian officials. They separated these people. Okay. All right. They did a divide and conquer with the Ukrainian officials, with Steve Witkoff and other people participating in this, setting these variables up in some way, and say they would be surrendering the Donbass region, handed over areas that would include territory that the Kremlin hasn't been able to secure more than a decade, like Crimea, which is not coming back, and since it made a separate land grab in 2014. The proposed pact also calls for Ukraine to pledge to never join NATO. That's obvious. Shrink its armed forces from its current estimated 900,000 to 600,000 personnel, and grant amnesty for all parties involved in wartime actions, eliminating any future legal claims over Russian war crimes. Wow. Some U.S. officials and experts characterize the plan as a no-win for Kiev. I don't think they have a choice. Deterring future Russian aggression against Ukraine requires Ukrainian military foreign support, ideally in the form of foreign troops in this country and a defense line. A senior official told the Post that the main sticking point for the Russia officials, when asked about the concessions, would accept what was getting them to simply accept that they can't take over all of Ukraine. See, they wanted a good swath of Ukraine, all right? And they're not going to get it. The conflict is costing Moscow roughly 7,000 Russians lives daily, and its economy hemorrhaging. I mean, it's just insane. We have, the whole thing is, what is so baffling and so amazing about this whole thing is that we haven't seen one iota of, let's just say, public media interactions. They were embedded in Iraq. They were embedded in Afghanistan. We watched that war like we were there. Okay? Hell, you saw more of the war in Vietnam. You saw conflicts all over the place. But for some reason, this is not covered at all. And it's striking why it's not. I mean, look, everyone knows Vladimir Putin took the whole country. The official said, the Russian dictator, that's been his long-sought goal. This is something he made quite clear the president is very aware of. And the plan obviously stops Putin in his tracks and ends the war. I think this is it. They might not have no option. I'm going to have another article that I think is a little bit more expansive. Marshall, your thoughts on this? Because I got something else that I wanted to cover.
You know what? I think half of this shit, or maybe even more, of it has been a complete lie and just fabricated, and it's all just been a money-sucking operation.
Because, well, I mean, they're umbrellas of a lot of people saying that what was taking place in Ukraine and the Russian war were the testing ground, so to speak, the test tube, so to speak, of the lab rat experiment, of all this equipment, this drone technology, the surveillance technology, all this stuff that are probably going to be utilized at home if an insurrection act happens in some way. But this was a testing ground for a lot of different things. So the question is, could this war have been stopped a long time ago? I guess in some way, probably. But the question is, we'll never know because the money kept going over and over. The Congress couldn't stop writing them a blank check. They couldn't stop printing up money to give them. So here's the point. They're being forced to sign this deal by Thanksgiving or lose support. This is the key because they're not going to get support from as much as they think from the European allies. I mean, this is the point. He's pushing back about the Zelensky, but I think he has no choice because the president's saying, look, you're on your own if you choose not to do this. Thanksgiving or lose U.S. support to the country. And that means Russia will just come in and take over and capture whatever they have. Everything's off the table, and we'll allow that. Speaking on the condition of anonymity to describe the sense of diplomatic discussions, Secretary Daniel Driscoll presented Ukrainian President Zelensky on Thursday with a version of a 28-point plan with Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev. That plan has been leaked in the press and is confirmed by several officials. Axios put a good one out. Although Trump has drawn down direct aid to Ukraine, U.S. has brokered deals for Ukraine to receive U.S. weapons to European partners. That's what we're doing. So we become just basically we're selling we're in arms. We're just selling arms left and right to Europe that Europe will sell to Ukraine, and Ukraine will pay for this survival on the battlefield. The U.S. is now sending signals that everything could be off the table if Kiev doesn't sign this proposal quickly. They got to get something done because I think President Trump is losing patience. And while this is going on, he can't afford to do something right now and move what he's got to do while this is happening. He wants this kind of be settled in some way, and so we can move on with this. Zelensky requested changes to the document on Thursday, and Driscoll's team agreed to some changes. The document would initially be signed by Zelensky and Trump before he presented it to the Russians. The U.S. appears to have divided two teams, Witkoff and Driscoll, to play good cop and bad cop. One presses the other and tries to say, let's work together to change the plan, one of the officials said. Following Thursday's meeting, Kiev U.S. officials, including Julie Davis, the charge of affairs at the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine, said the timeline for the signing is aggressive. So what do you think? You think we're going to get it? You think that President Trump is basically putting down, he's putting the hammer down and saying, look, if you don't do this, we're going to walk away. Not only we're going to walk away, you're not going to get any military support that we're going to send to the Europeans, that the Europeans are going to end up what? To NATO to sell it to you. And you're on your own. Marshall, your thoughts? I mean, I think this is it. I think we're coming to this end of this war, this logical conclusion to end to this war in some way, whatever this war is. I mean, can someone tell me what this war is per se? Because, you know, as much as we say all these people are dying, we don't see anything. We don't see anything. I don't know. I just don't know what to make about this. And I'm tired of talking about it too.
It was all a created thing by Nunn. What was her name? The Victoria Nunn or something
Newland.
like that.
Newland.
Yes, that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a lot of deaths behind her. She
Mm-hmm.
should rot in hell and burn in hell. But aside from that, they're not going to get the support of Europe anymore, like you were saying,
Right.
because the shit's so tired. And I agree with Senior Polio on the chat that Russia just go all in and just take damn Ukraine.
Right.
Now, I agree with that. I
Where did
don't
he say
think that will happen, but they should take at least half of it, which is really theirs anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Well, they wanted the Donbass region, which is two parts. Spiritska, which is where the energy or the power plants are in some way. They wanted that. And there was another region they wanted as well. But I don't know if they're going to get that. But the question is, they're running out of time to make a decision, because if President Trump does pull his support from them, then Russia would go in and take over the country. They would probably, because when he's saying, look, it's your dignity, whatever's left, save whatever dignity you have left, because if you don't, your country will be carved up, not just from Russia. Think about all the transnational corporations, BlackRock, Vanguard, JP Morgan that's in there. Then you got Poland and all these other countries that want to get a piece in that. So, I mean, you have to really think about, this is not just about Russia. The fall of Ukraine could be seated on so many different levels. You have major corporations like BlackRock coming in there and buying up a lot of the land, which is fertile. Okay, which is what they want. So is JP Morgan. And what are they doing? What are they getting out of it? So in some way, there's only going to be so much that they could cede over that they're not going to have anything left.
Woods says that MTG just resigned.
MTG just resigned now?
Are you sure of that?
Is this true?
Yeah. I mean, is there any verification of that? I mean,
let me see.
All right. Well, I'm going to answer the question on this Ukraine where you're looking that up.
Okay.
The whole thing was created by Victoria Nuland. It was a color revolution that she created so that they could change guard and put in their own president, which is this guy, Zelensky, the actor, so that they could do all the things that they're doing with the organ harvesting, the drugs, the human trafficking, and the money laundering and everything else. That's all that ever was. That's all it'll ever be. And hopefully the shit will end. I don't know if you found anything on that.
I did. I'm gonna go ahead, keep talking. I'm like, let me finish this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put this over.
I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
And like somebody mentioned in the chat a minute ago, a lot of these pictures and videos that we've seen, and Brett mentioned earlier, why weren't any of our reporters and media people embedded with the people?
Because this was a clandestine operation, I believe, for a lot of things. It could be because of the trafficking, the harvesting, all these other, certain things that were over there that were happening that we weren't allowed to see. Remember the Azov Battalion, the Nazis, and so we probably were not allowed to see that per se. I think there's a lot of different things. All right, so I'm going to put this up because who put this out here? Who said
Gateway
this?
Pundit says it's legit.
Okay, hold on.
Looks like Gateway Pundit Pundit. They don't put out lies. So,
all right, hold on. I got something. Let me share this. All right, this is her talking. So I found this. This came up right away. So let's see this. Let's play this. My message to Georgia's 14th district in America. Thank you.
I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. and the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher. Corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest, and the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony.
Okay, I'm done. I don't want to listen to her anymore. She's resigning on the 5th, I believe. Let me get out of this. So the 5th, she will step down. Okay. So that's really interesting. I got this article from Axios. They just put this up. I don't want to listen to her, but she's resigning on the 5th. That is quick and fast. So Taylor Greene resigning from Congress. Oh, man, I got to put this in there. These things, man. All right, here we go.
Senior Polo got it right.
You got it right.
She made $20 million. No,
25. Yep.
She got her money.
She's out. Yep. She probably doesn't want to be arrested either. She probably knows that she's dipping out because the House of Cards is coming down. It's a good point. If I'm cast aside by President MAGA, the political machine, and replaced by neocons and big pharma, big tech, industrial war complex, foreign leaders, elite donor class that can never, ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well, Green said. The big picture, Green has taken positions in recent weeks that have puzzled Republicans and irritated Trump. She said her party has no plan when it comes to health care. She was one of 4 Republicans to sign a discharge petition to release Epstein files against Trump. In a second interview with Axios in October, she slammed President Trump. Trump claimed that the tensions began after she showed up suggesting that she could not win statewide race, and with his endorsement, which he said was not going to give. So, look, she's resigning. Bottom line, Trump has privately expressing frustration with Green for months and has been asking allies what happened to the Congresswoman. Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. What happened to her? I mean, 6 of the stock options that she traded off on, Nancy Pelosi was doing. So a lot of them were following suit. And she railed against that in some way. There were bills that were going to be put up. All right. So the question is, she got rich and now she's dipping out. You know, I mean, are you sorry that she's gone? Do you really care at this point? I mean, really, it doesn't affect you and I. It doesn't matter to me. She's not in my district in Florida. She doesn't represent me. You know, that's up for her. That's up for the people that she represents. And who is going to be up there to fill her seat? Thank you, Thea, for the shades. Yeah, I appreciate that. And Trump won for the cookie. Yeah, Wood USA donating 717 gold pills. MTG resigning. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's just what's your thoughts? I mean, do you think in some way, all right, that this is because she made her money, she's dipping out, or because she got pushback from President Trump, or her job was to what? Help force the release of the Epstein files. President Trump signed that. Or again, are we watching something? What's her next move? What do you think is going to happen to her? Where do you think she's going to go from here? Obviously, she's not going to run for another seat. So is she going to take a cushy lobby job, or where is she going to go? You think she's not going in the Trump administration, at least that we see. So where does it just ends there? Is that it?
Somebody mentioned that she might run for governor in Georgia. That wouldn't surprise me because Georgia is such a fucked up state anyway. It is so corrupt. It's really bad, man. And she's an example of it, man. I mean,
she's going to host The View.
That wouldn't surprise me. She and Whoopi are going to hang out and have a wing.
She's going to have blonde braids. She's going to have that's going to be so fun.
She's going to have a wing ding with Whoopi and the girls over there. Yeah,
Yeah, she goes, he goes, Super D. That means tons more are freaking going to leave. Boom. Yeah, you know what? That's a great point, Super D. That might set the stage for the dam to crack. So many people are leaving right now in the House. So many people are leaving in the House. A lot of people, there were 2 Democrats that are stepping down. And this is all because of the push. But is this open the floodgates? Does she open the floodgates in some way? Because her own party doesn't like her, because her own party turned against her because she railed against them. Whether she's right or they're wrong or vice versa, what difference does it make? A lot of them up there, they toot to their own horn. It's all about them. It's all about me.
Actually,
it's all about me. They don't care about you or I. It's all about me.
No.
So what do you care? Does it matter? Go ahead.
They don't give a shit, man. I mean, and look, I don't think she's a part of any of any plan with Trump.
Right. Okay.
I
agree. I agree.
She's always been. She fucked around on her husband. She's been. Look, man. She's trailer bait, and that's been her.
There's
life.
a lot of adulterers that are in Congress. There's a lot of people.
Well, I know
that are swingers and all that. And I mean,
it's gross.
She's no different from a lot of these people.
Disgusting, man.
Exactly.
I mean, damn. If I don't know, Brad. I mean, I'm glad she's gone. It's actually relief. Maybe somebody will actually come up. Like, what was the guy, the football player? He should do it.
Yeah.
The football guy that ran.
Herschel Walker, who ran for Senate.
Yeah, he should run for her seat.
Yeah, I mean, he should run. He should run in her seat. He should run again, senator. I mean, he didn't lose by much. I mean, I don't know if they're going to put him up again.
He's a God-fearing man.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
I don't know who's going to, take over. I mean, this opens a slot, as Laura Loomer said. I might move to District 14 and run. Good luck. You're going to lose again for 3 times as a charm there, lady. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, does this open the floodgates? Yes, I think so. This is a big person, a big name person who is leaving the House. So this is not some small little congressperson that's a Democrat that, this is a person who was very vocal, who was in Trump's ear orbit for a while until she fell out of orbit in some way. So did she go awry? Yeah, I mean.
Either way, she's a C, you know what?
Yeah, I know.
NT. I mean, screw that lady.
I don't, like I said, there's a lot of people, you're in a real mood tonight, loving your snark. Is that Trusty Turnip? Oh, yeah. Ouch, Trusty. Yeah, I know. Look, when I look at this does give me pause to think the possibility of the door swinging wide open for more and more people to leave. Yes, that's number one. Yeah, and number two, I don't know who's going to run in her position. And 3, like I said, the more and more of these people scurry away, the better chance of getting more term limits or turned over for some speak. I know there's an argument. A lot of people don't like the term limits thing because we sell ourselves short. Well, we have term limits for a president. You have term limits for a governor. So why isn't it any different from these congressmen and senators? Why can't they have term limits?
They're
people
kings.
like them. Yeah,
They're kings, Brett.
Yeah, I know. And
think
and
about that.
They make a fortune in there. She walked in with what, less than $1 million, and she's got what, 25 million. So
Yeah.
she cleaned up. She cleaned up. I mean, not like Nancy Pelosi and all these other cats, but she's made some money. You know what?
That's a lot of money.
That's yeah. And how long she was there? What, since 18? Not that long. So I mean, honestly, all right. So here's another discussion because we're running out of time. This comes from Information Liberation. This is something that's bothersome to me. Ambassador Mike Huckabee held a secret meeting with an Israeli spy, Jonathan Pollard. New York Times reveals. Should he resign? Why are you holding meetings with a dual agent in some way? Listen to this. The ambassador, Mike Huckabee, together with David Millstone, Mark Levin's stepson, held an off-the-record meeting at a U.S. embassy in Jerusalem with convicted Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard. Pollard confirmed it was a friendly meeting and trashed Trump as a madman. Mark Levin attacking Tucker Carlson 2 weeks ago. You little bastard. You attacked my stepson. You stabbed him in the back while he's serving President Trump on his second tour. Reality. He was holding a secret meeting with Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard. Wow. Goes on here. Ambassador Huckabee with David Millstone held an off-record meeting at the embassy in Jerusalem with Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard. Pollard confirmed it was a friendly meeting and trashed Trump as a madman. So what's going on here? They met at the embassy in July. An American spy who spent 30 years for spying for Israel, Pollard said, highly unusual. Meeting caught some U.S. officials by surprise and appeared to be a sharp break with years of precedent for American diplomats. The New York Times learned of the meeting, and 3 U.S. officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity discussed this sensitive information. When the Times asked Pollard about the meeting, he confirmed it. Mr. Pollard said it was the first time a U.S. official had hosted him at an American government office. He was a convicted spy. Why are you holding dual passport, dual citizen? Why are you holding meetings with this guy? What was the point? What was the objective here? Oh, it was a friendly meeting. He said it on the phone. What friendly meeting? The meeting with Pollard, former naval intelligence analyst, was kept off Huckabee's official schedule. So he wasn't. So the argument was, there was no recording of this meeting. It was unprecedented, unrivaled, unparalleled, as being described by several different rags. That the fact is it occurred and alarmed the CIA station chief in Israel. 3 of the officials said. It's unclear why Huckabee had his senior advisor, David Milstein, agreed to meet Mr. Pollard. Mr. Huckabee and Mr. Milstein have made efforts to cultivate ties with Israeli right, whom Mr. Pollard identifies. Wow. Trump's DOJ allowed Pollard to make a aliyah in Israel after ending his strict parole conditions in 2020. After review Pollard's case, the U.S. Parole Commission has found that there is no evidence to conclude that he is likely to violate the law. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are calling for the resignation of Huckabee. Will he be forced to resign? According to Caroline Levin, she was asked about this, and President Trump was caught off guard. Did not know this, supposedly, that no one in the administration was aware of this. Now, is that true? Or was this done for a reason and they're saying that? Or were they blindsided, as Caroline Levitt has put this out there? What was this meeting about, and why would this meeting take place without? And obviously, the CIA was caught off guard with this in some way. So were they purposely held out of this for a reason? Something to think about. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. You know what? It's hard pressed for me to believe that Trump did not know about this, or was perfectly plausibly deniable in some way that he put this out there that everybody, excuse me, completely were in the dark. I mean, it's illogical, but what was the discussion about? Pollard and his wife, Esther, arrive in Israel in a private plane belonging to the GOP mega donor, Sheldon Ellison's Las Vegas Sands, who were greeted at the airport by Netanyahu. That's when he arrived home in 2020. He gave his first interview at Israel Harem paper, wherein he encourages all Jews to spy for Israel. Wow. Israel Harem, if a young Jewish naval intelligence officer today is asked by Mossad to work for Israel and calls to ask for your advice, what would you tell him? I tell him not to do anything unacceptable. You have to make a decision whether you're concerned for Israel and loyalty to Israel and a loyalty to your fellow Jews is more important than your life. I mean, is this part of the fall of the state per se, and showing this in a different light? I mean, what is Huckabee doing in some way? I mean, the articles that are saying is that a lot of people were not in the know. What do you think about this, Marshall? I mean, should he resign? I mean, a lot of people are saying that he's a traitor, that he was doing something nefarious. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing with them and meeting with them in some way. But it seemed to me this is very odd in some way that the administration was caught off guard, as the Caroline Leavitt said. She didn't know, the president didn't know, or is it just plausible deniability?
He's either one of two things. He's either there to expose Israel, the Israeli government, not the people,
right?
The Israeli government. He's either there to expose their certain ways, or he's one of these evangelical Christians who cuck for Israel.
Yeah.
Which is unacceptable. You follow your own religion first. All right.
Well,
Israel.
he's one of those Christian Zionists. Yeah.
Don't be a Zion. No, don't be a Zio. So it's either one of those two things, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's not enough information right now because I've been reading a couple of articles about it.
Worried about him.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it per se, but I mean, unless this gains traction, if there's something to come out there, is this part of the expose? It could be. I mean, again, in more plausible deniability, I think that's possible. But everybody's kind of hush-hush about it.
Yeah.
So we asked Ro Khanna if Hakeem Jeffries should return money after reports he solicited donations from Jeffrey Epstein back in 2013. Khanna didn't deny it. He said he was the first time hearing about it and added anyone who took money from Epstein should return it and donate it. Wow.
Jeffries' campaign soliciting money from Jeffrey Epstein himself back in 2013.
This is the first time hearing about it, obviously.
Comer said it on the floor.
Well, I don't know if it's true. I mean, you're just saying it, but obviously anyone who took money from him should return the money or didn't donate the money. And
Did he step down as leader?
I have to look at what you're saying. It's the first time hearing about it, but he should certainly return the money or donate the money. And it's the first time honestly hearing about it.
Any comment?
Wow, he was caught off guard with that. He didn't know what to say. He was fumbling his words. We got more to go on this one because I want to get to Hillary Clinton. But your thoughts?
He heard about it. He already knew about it. He's fucking lying.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't want to call out he doesn't want to call out the minority leader yet. And look, they're already putting Alcee Hastings. Is it Alcee Hastings now, or what's the guy from Texas? No, Green. They're already
that guy.
Hastings. He's dead.
Mr. Kane, man.
But, yeah, they're already putting up. I mean, look, I don't know if the minority leader Hakeem Jeffries is going to stay in power. I mean, I don't even know if he's going to resign. But it doesn't look good for him to stay in power after all this Epstein stuff is coming out. Comer makes a light poster of an email to Epstein asking that he donate to Hakeem Jeffries, who was referred to as the Brooklyn Barack. Democrats call the Epstein files, and now they're trying to deny that they were associated with him. This is fantastic. Now, this is something that is hilarious that this guy does.
It's a piece of work.
Yeah.
The recent discovery of Democrats' communication with convicted
this thing is
sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And I bring with me something that he and many of his fellow Democrats like Jamie Raskin, Jasmine Crockett, and Stacey Plaskett apparently detest. And that is a thing called evidence. Tuesday, I gave a speech on the House floor detailing my House Oversight Committee's good work to date on our Epstein investigation. After all, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrats in Congress, and your allies in the corporate media have been demanding a full release of the Epstein documents for months, including all the documents from the Epstein estate. So without hesitation, I subpoenaed all of the Jeffrey Epstein estate documents because I, as well as my Republican colleagues on the House Oversight Committee, we want to know what really happened, what went on, who was involved in these unspeakable crimes. We want justice for the survivors. That's why we're doing this investigation. So House Oversight obtained over 30,000 pages of documents from the estate. Unlike the Democrats who only released 10 of those over 30,000 pages of documents. Republicans on the House Oversight Committee released every single document on the website for the American people to see. Democrats and many in the media were anxiously clutching their pearls in anticipation of potential dirt on President Trump. In the end, after full transparency by the Republicans on the Oversight Committee, there was nothing new about the president's former relationship with Epstein, and certainly nothing scandalous. But we did find two sitting Democrat members of Congress had communication with Epstein. First, it's been highly reported and debated about Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett texting during an Oversight Committee hearing with Jeffrey Epstein while trying to conspire with him to hurt or embarrass Donald Trump. But according to Jamie Raskin, that was okay because Mr. Epstein was her constituent. How embarrassing a rationale is that?
Yeah, how many of you, okay, are constituents and talk with your congressmen, okay, about what? An ongoing investigation while there's an oversight hearing. Think about that.
But the second communication was this email right here, where Hakeem Jeffries' campaign reached out directly to Jeffrey Epstein, soliciting campaign dollars for the, quote, Brooklyn Barack. Now, whereas Jamie Raskin explained Plaskett's communication with Epstein as simply responding to a constituent, Hakeem Jeffries had a very different response when asked about it by the media. He denied its existence. Hakeem Jeffries said Comer is a stone cold liar. And then he reverted to calling me names for the second week in a row. So let's read it.
All right. That's funny. I mean, that's funny. What is it? You guys think the photo of Hakeem and Epstein online yesterday is real or AI?
It is real. It's real.
Marshall says it's real. I don't know. I can't answer that.
I double check. I went back, man. It's
so there's no.
I checked that
So Twitter didn't pop up and say.
No, that shit was fucking. He was there.
Okay.
I mean, look at the email.
Right. I mean,
that tells you everything. Right, it's in black and white.
No, I understand. I mean, it's just.
But yeah, everything I checked, the picture is real.
Yeah, it's not good.
On the island.
No, it's not good at all. Let me get the Bill and Hillary. Let me get the Bill and Hillary. This comes from the Oversight Committee. Again, Comer's like firing at all cylinders. Let me blow this up. This is some serious stuff. This is going to be fantastic. If it happens, I'm not holding my breath. But again, they're giving them a final notice. This is their final notice. So Bill and Hillary Clinton must appear in person for depositions. Today, the House Committee Oversight Government and Reform Chair Comer sent a letter to Bill and Hillary Clinton's attorney, David Kendall, emphasizing that while the committee remains engaged in good faith negotiations, the Clintons are required to comply with lawful subpoenas and appear for scheduled in-person depositions. The Oversight Committee is continuing its review of federal government investigations into Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and in July, Democrats and Republicans on this committee approved a motion to issue subpoenas to Bill and Hillary Clinton. The committee has since worked in good faith to schedule in-person depositions, but further delays are unacceptable. Given their history in Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, any attempt by the Clintons to avoid sitting for a deposition would be in defiance of lawful subpoenas and grounds to initiate contempt of Congress proceedings. The committee looks forward to confirming their appearance and remains committed to delivering transparency. Interesting. They're scheduled for December 17th, 2025. I guarantee it's going to be closed door. It's not going to be viewed for all of us to see in some way. Mind you, Ghislaine Maxwell is pushing back because the House Oversight is also subpoenaing her to come and testify. And she, through her lawyers, has said, I'm going to plead the fifth. I'm going to plead the fifth because if you don't give me any type of immunity deal, then you're not going to hear from me. And so they're trying to get her up here, but she wants some sense of immunity so she doesn't further implicate herself down the line with anything, or she doesn't want name names. She wants some type of protection in some way. I mean, look, she's already in a low-fed prison, which basically where she gets plenty of toilet paper, some nice towels, live in confinement well, so to speak. She's still trying to go to an appeals court to get her case and get a new trial. The Supreme Court has already shot that down. So I don't know. So Hillary Clinton's deposition is scheduled for the 18th on 2025. Now, what happens now? What's going to happen in the meantime between Bill and Hillary? Something going to happen, in some way? I mean, before the deposition, to postpone this? Anything to circumvent, them wanting to speak to them at all about stuff. But look, I think in some way you have to consider this. Whatever is about to take place is really going to get exposed right away. And I think that we're not inching closer. Things are speeding up. Look at this. This comes from the Free Republic. You know who the Free Republic is, right? Barry Weiss. This is Paramount now that owns them. It goes through this. Look at this. In a letter scheduled, where it is. On July 23rd, 2025, the subcommittee of federal law enforcement of committee approved a motion by voice vote directing the committee to authorize and issue the deposition. They wanted a voice vote. The committee may use results from the investigation to inform legislative solutions to improve federal efforts to combat sex trafficking and reform the use on non-prosecution agreements and or plea agreements in a sex crime investigation. Bill and Hillary Clinton's attorney. Interesting. I mean, what does that say? What are they supposed to talk about regarding Epstein? Any attempt of the Clintons to avoid sitting for a deposition would be in defiance of lawful subpoenas. Exhibit 1 for defense. It's Jello. I mean, look, Billy Bob or the H-Beast will find a way to be ill to not attend. These are all people putting these things out. David Kennel. Oh, I forgot about the scumbag, Red Badger. They won't show. Nothing will be done about it. It's funny. A lot of people are posting about it. I predict the Clinton body count will rise. I mean, I just thought it was funny. I saw a lot of different commentary about this. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to show up. I think they still think they're above the law, and it'll be interesting if we even get to that point. Marshall, your thoughts on that?
No, they're going to do everything they can to not show up. I mean, like you just said, they're arrogant as hell. They think they own the world. But guess what? Their world is crumbling around them.
Yeah.
And, at some point, something is going to. I think this is all.
Kill Bill. Kill Bill.
It's true.
Wait a minute. Maxwell has a dog now, Murkoch? They got her a puppy? She can have a puppy in this place? Are you kidding me? No.
It's a support dog.
It's a support dog in jail? You have a support dog? I mean, honestly, it's not
She's
really
probably
a jail person.
Brett, that tells me she's spilling everything.
Yeah.
I think she's spilling it all. She's cushioning up. She's
puppy.
laid back. She's got the palm trees. She's got the puppy in the
Who got her
pool.
a puppy? Who got her a... Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Settle
She's
down.
spilling it, Brett. She's got to be spilling
Wait,
it.
who gave her a puppy? Dude, that's hilarious. Thank you, Thea, for the can.
She's got
Like, share, and subscribe. Drop us a gold bill. Like Thea, you can help out marshallkofi.com/surfdog74. Oh, my God. No, I got to read these. I'm just trying to read all these things. I'm blown away by, I'm seeing some of these things. This is so fun. The puppy is chipped. They won't say. They won't say. Who won't say? So they won't say who gave her the dog. It's a seeing eye dog. Dude, this is so funny. And I'm being serious. It's like, she really has a dog. Like, someone brought her a dog. So you're saying what? The Justice Department got her a dog in some way because she's turning over state's evidence?
I mean, it's got to be, man. She's got to be spilling it all.
Yeah. They have AI puppies.
That place must be really nice. I want to go there.
So they guess she's got
I want to go to that fucking prison she's at because it sounds like it's really nice, man.
Yeah, she's got an AI puppy.
Like a resort.
Wow. Looks real. It's a robot. It's probably monitoring her.
No.
Wow, that's just great.
Oh shit, man.
My God. I mean, it's probably monitoring her.
It's Elon Musk fucking dog.
Who's gonna get a visit from Hillary? Thea. That's funny. Is that I'm just trying to. Yeah, I know. It's just this crazy. I had more on Crockett. Let me get to this. Surveillance footage of Charlie Kirk's assassin mysteriously disappears. You go figure. You got the FBI, who are basically the Keystone Cops. You know, they're the Pink Panther. They can't find the Pink Panther. They're Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so bad. So now The alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk. His stunning investigation has blown open yet another alarming chapter in the assassination of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk. And this is not coming from Candace Owens, by the way, because she's out there. She's on a deep end. And this is weird, but listen to this. Charlie Kirk, after it emerged that a critical surveillance video that showed the shooter, huge shooter, Tyler Robinson, surrendering to authorities in Utah. So his surrendering to the authorities mysteriously disappears. Salt Lake's KU2 TV confirmed that all the footage of Robinson walking into Washington County Sheriff's Office has been permanently scrubbed. Now, why would you need to permanently scrub that? Why would it be? All copies of the video have been withheld, destroyed, or automatically deleted. So it's on a loop. After 30 days, it just disappears. The video apparently showed Robinson turning himself into the police. Now, wouldn't that be evidence? Part of his case? Wouldn't the defense say, hey, wait a minute. He turned himself in. We need that evidence to show to the jury. The case starts January 20th, by the way, next year. The video apparently showed Robinson turning himself into the police, admittingly to killing Kirk just 2 days after the conservative activist was gunned down. So he turns himself in, and he admitted to killing Kirk, apparently. For a case of this magnitude, the explanation is raising red flags. The moment of surrender gone without a trace. Kirk was assassinated on the 10th with a 30-06 round from a Mauser model 98 bolt action rifle while speaking Utah University. The killing shocked the nation and immediately drew questions about political motives, security failures, potential accomplices. Robinson then accused the shooter to turn himself in shortly after. Sheriff Nate Brooksby previously stated, within an hour, my friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives. So you drove Tyler and his parents to my office. Naturally, the 2N News requested a surveillance of the footage capturing this moment, and what they uncovered is deeply disturbing. The first excuse, he never entered the jail area. Second excuse, video denied. Third excuse, actually the footage was deleted after 30 days. Right? This is so odd in some way. Why would the video be deleted? When they expanded the request from any footage of entering the building at all, suddenly the story changed. Officials claimed the footage no longer exists. And having allegedly been erased after the department's 30-day retention period, investigators became even more suspicious when officials admitted the footage was never sent to the police detectives. So they never even... So the people that were investigating this, the detectives, didn't even see the footage of him being turned in. It was just wiped. The omission means Utah County-led investigators never saw the video, nor did anybody take steps to preserve the chain of evidence. Yet this is not a shoplifting case. This is nationally significant political assassination. Rudy Bautista, one of Utah's most experienced criminal defense attorneys, did not mince words. If it has been destroyed and not preserved, it's very concerning. If you're a defense attorney, you're going to use this. You're going to use this. Why was this somehow dismissed? Why was this erased? The letter reads, in my opinion, as trying to shut the door and not give free access to the press. A gaping hole, it verifies identity. It shows demeanor, condition, possible coercion. It confirms timing. It establishes a chain of custody. It prevents tampering of allegations. It protects investigators from accusations of misconduct. Wow. I mean, this is big. This is really big. Why would this automatically just disappear? This would be, I mean, if you're the defense of this guy, I would be like, wait a minute. What's going on? This is very odd indeed, and I have to tell you right now, as much as I don't believe the story that we're being told completely, this just adds to the vulnerability of the case, okay? Because, I mean, unless they have so much substantial evidence that they didn't want to show the public, and they're erasing the evidence while they're filling other stuff in, you can ask right now, it's like, are we going to rediscover this later on as AI? I mean, I cannot believe that they lost this evidence. Marshall, this can't be good in any way for the case. And in the way that people perceive this in some way, you'd have to think in some way, it just makes it even more mysterious in some way, as it says here. It makes it even, I think in some way, I just don't even buy anything about this case anymore. But again, the FBI, they're on it. They got it all nailed. They're almost completely, let's just say, convinced that he did it. And they're going to come out and say it eventually. They're going to come out and say it.
Yeah, the Keystone Cops, they're on it. And really, I think this whole thing, again, we go back to all this stuff. This whole thing is designed to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
This is how they want it.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we're going to have to swallow it. And they're going to make you fucking eat it.
Yep.
For a reason.
Yep.
For bigger purposes, as we've talked about before, Brett, that it's bigger than this thing, bigger than the and we've talked about Charlie Kirk's, situation.
Yeah.
Is he alive? Is he really dead?
I don't
Did
know.
they really do this?
I
Why
just
did they clean up everything?
The more and more I see the scrubbing, the more and more it reminds me of Thomas Crooks. Okay. Again, another thing with Thomas Crooks, the evidence is all scrubbed. He's cremated. What about the parents? The home is completely just sanitized. It smells of agency or third-party actors, provocateurs that are involved in this, or multi-layered tiers. But that's what they're going to sell us. And in this case, in some way, they've been selling this line since what? Day one. Probably since a couple days thereafter. And other than that, there are a lot more questions than answers. But this just adds to the allure, okay? The allure. And I say that because this is not funny. I mean, either they want to convince you that we're stupid, and they're actually going to go forward with this prosecution while you have these gaping holes in there in some way. Are they setting up the idea that this is the guy they're going to put on trial, and he's going to get off? I mean, think about it. There might be people on the jury that might say, hey, wait a minute, where's this chain of evidence? What are they setting this up for something of that scenario?
Well, the thing is, though, Brett, here's the question we really need answered. And we don't know the answer to it right now. And maybe we won't. And that question is it our side that's doing this, that set this whole thing up, that's producing this?
Well, I don't know
Or
whose
is it
side
their
our
side?
side is. I mean, what do you mean?
I mean, who is producing this? Who is behind the whole production?
Orchestration. No, I got you. I got you. Yeah.
So we don't know. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you going to do? Beat your head against a wall? I mean, all we can do is just.
That's why I don't trust anything. I don't trust the narrative. I don't trust anything anymore. You can't sell me on the Thomas Crook thing. I mean, it's already done.
Nobody
The
believes
evidence is
Brett.
gone. I mean,
Nobody.
from their standpoint, that's a open and shut case. Captain McMuffin did MTG resign. She's resigning on January 5th. Okay. We were covering that earlier. Yep. Effective on the 5th. Thank you, Thea, for the cookie. So we're going to head out after this. This is the most disturbing thing. Wall Street apes, $500 million have been spent on fast food with EBT across multiple states. I wonder why people are fat and disgusting and unhealthy and sick. If you're wondering how this is possible, many states allow EBT at fast food restaurants. Wow. Nearly all fast food places in California have huge "We accept EBT" signs. Why is it that you can use your EBT to go buy fast food, hot food, but when you go into the grocery store, you can't buy hot food in the grocery store? You can't buy chicken. You can't buy stuff that are hot foods per se. I was reading up on this and stuff, the provisions they put in there, but they'll make you eat this garbage. They want you sick. They want you unhealthy. They want you fat. And this is how they just keep people, living off and sucking off the tit. It's sad in some way. Let's listen to Joan Aarons.
Is that within the SNAP program,
She's leaving too, by the way.
There is a way for certain states to apply for programs that allow those SNAP dollars to go to fast food restaurants. There are currently 9 states that allow that. And what we have found is in just the last 2 years, taxpayer dollars going into SNAP, those SNAP dollars of the amount of $524 million was spent on fast food. We know that we have health issues across the board here in the United States of America. Those SNAP dollars, and I'll remind everybody that the N in SNAP stands for nutrition, should not be going to fast food.
Exactly. I mean, absolutely absurd that we're in this position that you see this. Again, I like the fact that Brooke Rollins, the Secretary of Agriculture, is basically redoing this. So next year, they're going to be recreating, and so you're going to have to reapply, and that's a good thing, so they can stream out and figure out I wonder how much Doge is involved with that, and AI is involved with controlling the amount of fraud, abuse, and waste they're involved in there as they're redoing the actual application system in some way, and to get confirmation to figure out who are these people. Who are these people that are on it? How do you get $60,000 worth of EBT cards? I mean, we did a show on that. I had my videos play out and stuff. People like, get the hell out of here. Some people said 20,000. That's an average. How do you get this without it being fraudulent? You don't. You don't get it without being fraudulent. That has to happen from somebody that are doing it from one end to another. Okay? I mean, there's got to be people involved that are doing this and setting this up. I mean, it just doesn't happen in appearance on its own. You get a card, all right, the most amount of money you're supposed to get on is what? A couple $100. You know what I'm saying? There's just no way that this gross malfeasance. But what's disgusting, and I think they should retool this, that all the EBT cards should be blocked from any type of fast food in some way. So when you're redefining this and putting this out, that the cards will make sure that they block it. McDonald's, Burger King, you name it, in some way. And they have to really get back to what they were saying, this nutritional programs in some way. There has to be a way that the cards, all right, look at the barcodes and look at the things that they scan and stuff. And you know what? There should be certain stuff, okay, that people have a list that you should look at and go at, and that's what you get. All right. And then everything else is secondary or tertiary. I think that's how they should do the nutritional list. This is what you should be getting: meats, whole foods, so to speak, vegetables, things like that, in the matter of how the pyramid should be. I don't know about bread or pasta or anything like that, but in some way, it should be redone and retooled that the card operates. And when you're scanning items, to know that this can't go through, that can't get through, because the card won't work. And I think that's important. And there should be provisions too, because if you're going to use the EBT card, then all these places should know what's allowed and what's not allowed. It would probably be better that you just put a list of saying what's not allowed: alcohol, soda, things like that. I mean, realistically, it's embarrassing, Marshall.
Yeah, and they should do this. And I think the biggest thing with this whole EBT thing is all the illegal and all the fraud that is in it, which brings up the Doge deal. I think Doge is on this. I think they have their teams have never left. The Doge teams have never left DC.
No, I think that's a good point. I think that it was Elon Musk who left, and then everything else was left behind.
No, they're still there.
Yeah, they're still there to continue. Albus Gift of the Cookie, great show. Thank you. Tracer C4, I agree. You couldn't buy fast food on it 10 years ago. I wonder what changed. Well, exactly.
It's the blue states that are doing
it's
that.
the blue state corruption fiefdoms, because a lot of this stuff actuates in these blue state fiefdoms. And that's I'm still on this puppy thing. Here's the puppy in prison. I remember QPO saying not all patriots are patriots, and many of them will resign for their roles in the corruption. I'd hate to believe MTG was a traitor all along and got caught. Maybe she wasn't all along. She's hypocritical and opportunistic.
Right.
And that's what led to her demise.
She's an MTG girl.
Yeah, she was playing both sides, and she
all
got
about
caught up in it. Yeah, absolutely. And there's many people like that. Obviously, she wanted to get rich, and she got rich. And I think that a lot of people in the house couldn't stand her. And after she went after everybody, it was time to dip out. Now, that's a good point. She might run for governor. I don't know. I dropped all the pills. I hope everybody got them and stuff. We're over our time. Thank you, Thea, for the cookie and the can. Thank you for the support here. Let's see. Thea 3.3 over here. Wood USA 834 and Brando being with 400. Thank you for all the support. You can help out marshallkofi.com/surfdog74 on our way out. Okay, so I think that's the point. I got to look at this. You guys got me all bunched up. I'm all knotted up about this puppy. I don't know. I just like, how do you get a puppy in jail? Or let's put it this way, it's a bed and breakfast that she's at these days, right? Is it a VRBO or a better? What do you call this thing that she's at? I mean, is it a VRBO? Is it? What do you call this type of prison? I don't know what to make of it, but the fact that you're telling me there's puppies, you're allowed to have puppies in there. Next thing you're going to tell me there's kittens in there. Oh my God, it's real.
I want to see the memes, man.
I got to see the memes too. There's got to be memes on X. Patty B, I'll look for your your DM after the show. I'll check it out and stuff, but I didn't, and then we'll get back to you and stuff. All right, well, that's our show. Have a great weekend. Good night, everybody. Ciao, Bella. Thanks for the support. Thanks for helping out here. Let's see was there anybody on YouTube? Okay, because I have it over here. I was going back and forth. I didn't see anybody over there. But if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Leave us a comment and stuff. We have this up as a backup channel and stuff, and the algorithm is over there. It's working great. A lot of people like it. Yeah, that's fine. So have a great weekend. We'll see you again soon. Ciao, Bella. Good night, Marshall.
Adios.